He wasn't a hero, he wasn't a villain. Loki, the trickster of Norse mythology, lived somewhere between both. But behind the Marvel mask lies a far more complex figure, one tied by blood to Odin, yet destined to destroy him. Who was Loki really? In Norse mythology, Loki was never one of the Aesir gods, though he lived among them in Asgard. He was a giant, the son of Farbauti and Laufey, and yet his story was deeply woven into the fate of the gods. Giants in Norse myth weren't towering monsters, but beings of immense power who stood for chaos rather than order. Many Aesir gods, including Thor, had giant ancestry. Thor's mother, Jord, for instance, was a giantess who symbolized the earth itself. Loki stood apart because he didn't rule over any aspect of life. He wasn't the god of thunder, war, or love. He symbolized no kingdom. His power came from his cunning, his words, and his gift for illusion. His name in Old Norse even means knot or tangle, a fitting symbol for someone whose schemes always twisted fate into chaos. His symbol, the snake, represented deception and renewal, two traits Loki embodied perfectly. He could shapeshift into animals, people, or even spirits, slipping through danger and deception alike. Despite the chaos he caused, Loki remained welcome among the gods of Asgard for most of his life. Why? Because Odin once made a blood pact with him. The two mixed their blood, promising to always drink together. That made Loki Odin's blood brother, not Thor's actual brother, as the Marvel films portray. This bond kept Loki within Asgard's halls, no matter how much trouble he stirred. Family of chaos. Loki's family reveals just how tangled his life truly was. With the giantess Angerboda, he had 3 children, each destined to play a role in Ragnarok, the Norse end of the world. The first was Hel, half dead and half alive, who was sent to rule over Helheim, the realm of the dead. The second was Jormungand, the serpent so massive he could encircle Midgard, the world of men. The third was Fenrir, the monstrous wolf who was chained by the gods with a magical ribbon forged by dwarves. Each of them represented forces the gods could not control: death, chaos, and destruction. Loki also had a wife, Sigyn, known for her unshakable loyalty, and a son named Nari. But his strangest child of all was Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse that became Odin's steed. This happened after Loki shapeshifted into a mare to distract the stallion Svadilfari, who was helping a mysterious builder construct the walls of Asgard. The gods had promised the builder the goddess Freya, along with the sun and moon, if he finished on time. But when Loki's trick delayed the work, the gods broke their promise, and Thor killed the builder. Loki's act saved Asgard, but also led to his unusual pregnancy, resulting in Sleipnir's birth. Loki wasn't always malicious. Sometimes his chaos was necessary to save the gods from their own greed. Loki and Thor. Though they weren't true brothers, Loki often joined Thor on his adventures. In one famous tale, the giant king Thrym stole Thor's hammer, demanding the goddess Freya as his bride in exchange. Loki suggested that Thor disguise himself as Freya to retrieve the hammer. Thor reluctantly agreed, and Loki went along, pretending to be the handmaiden. When Thrym brought out the hammer as part of the wedding ceremony, Thor seized it and revealed himself. He struck down the giant and reclaimed his weapon, thanks to Loki's quick thinking. Stories like this show Loki's complexity, not purely evil, but a trickster whose cleverness often saved those who cursed him. The fall of Loki. But Loki's most infamous act sealed his fate. It began with Balder, Odin's son, and the most beloved of all gods. His mother Frigg made every living thing in the world swear never to harm him. Everything, except for the humble mistletoe plant, which she thought too small to pose a threat. Loki learned this and shaped a dart from mistletoe. He handed it to Hod, Balder's blind brother, guiding his hand in a playful game where the gods threw objects at Balder for fun. The dart pierced Balder's heart, killing him instantly. The gods were horrified. Odin pleaded with Hel, Loki's daughter, to return Balder from the underworld. Hel agreed, but only if every living thing wept for him. All did, except for one giantess, who refused. It was Loki in disguise. That single act doomed Balder forever. and it was the final straw for the gods. The punishment of Loki. The Aesir hunted Loki down and bound him in a dark cave. They tied him to 2 rocks and hung a serpent above his head, its venom dripping onto his face. His loyal wife Sigyn stood by him, catching the venom in a bowl. But whenever she left to empty it, the drops burned Loki's skin, his screams, shaking the earth and causing earthquakes. It's said he will remain bound until Ragnarok, the end of days, when he will finally break free and lead the giants and monsters against the gods. Loki in Ragnarok. At Ragnarok, Loki joins the enemies of Asgard. He sails with the ship Naglfar, built from the nails of the dead, and brings his monstrous children to war. He will face Heimdall, the guardian of the Bifrost, Bridge, and in their final clash, both will die. The prophecy ends the same way Loki's story began, with chaos swallowing order and balance, restored through destruction. Loki, villain or visionary? Loki defied every rule of his world. He wasn't bound by loyalty, morality, or tradition. He mocked power, challenged authority, and played with fate itself. To the gods, he was dangerous. To the storytellers, he was essential, a reminder that chaos isn't always evil. Sometimes, it's what keeps the world alive. Even in punishment, Loki never fades from myth. His wit, his flaws, and his fire make him one of the most human figures in all mythology. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Was the trickster god truly evil, or just honest about the chaos that lives in all of us?